Claymates have quickly solidified themselves as one of, if not the, premier NFT project on Cardano. The Claymates story begins in April of 2021 when Isabel Robson and Lena Onto merged their talent, creativity, and their affinity with clay onto the Cardano blockchain forever. But before we sculpt their story, it's worth mentioning the origins of this medium. 125 years ago, back in 1897, plasticine and oil-based clay was invented and filmmakers would begin to make their living patiently crafting and molding. Although Hollywood opted not to mass produce this tedious form of stop-motion animation to keep costs down, claymation has still held its place in history throughout the 1900s and is still relevant in pop culture today. Who knew that this unique art form would eventually evolve into one of the biggest NFTs on Cardano's blockchain?
The first short film to feature claymation was a 1908 silent film called The Sculptor's Nightmare. But audiences weren't graced with the full feature claymation short until Long Live the Bull Market? That came out in 1926. Now, taking the time to craft the characters out of clay is one thing, but making a film out of it is another story. Back in the day before digital animation took over the claymation game, stop-motion artists had to take a photo, then sculpt the clay character again to move it ever so slightly, then repeat the process again and again and again. Sculpt, click, sculpt, click, sculpt, click, all day long. This is how the effect of movement was created through stop-motion. Tedious business. At the time, Hollywood opted to mass-produce movies using cell animation by painting images on transparent sheets and stitching them together. The first movie to hit the silver screen in this fashion was Walt Disney's 1938 classic Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Both forms of animation were unbelievably time-consuming, but Hollywood mass-produced cell animation movies instead of claymation to keep down costs. For over a decade, it appeared cell animation was the go-to medium and claymation was somewhat at a standstill until Art Clokey invented Gumby in 1953. Remember Gumby? You know, the green stick humanoid thing with legs and a sidekick horse named Pokey. Hey, it was the 50s, what can you say? Not too long after that, Plato was created in 1956 as a product that was originally used as a wallpaper cleaner and was repackaged as an arts and crafts activity for children. This invention was a catalyst for the resurgence of claymation in pop culture. Then, while perfecting his craft in the 1970s and 80s, Oscar-winning animator the late Will Vinton, a pioneer in the space, coined the term claymation while working on his masterpiece, a fictional rhythm and blues musical group known as the California Raisins. Once digital animation took over the realm of claymation and stop-motion animation, audiences around the world were treated to classics such as Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, Coraline, Paranorman, The Wrong Trousers, and the highest-grossing claymation film of all time, Chicken Run. Wait, Avatar wasn't clay? Another notable mention of claymation in pop culture from the late 90s to the early 2000s was the MTV classic Celebrity Deathmatch. Remember the battle between Eminem and Kid Rock? It was a classic. But let's talk Claymates. Now imagine that this unique style of animation became a top NFT on Cardano. When Isabel Robson and Lena Onto first collaborated, they started with limited edition stop animations that were mostly tributes to members of the Cardano community, but it grew into something much, much bigger. Their first creation, Claymate 00 from Series 1, is no other than Charlie Birdkinson. Look familiar? I bet he practices bird law. It's a handmade rendition of Cardano's founder, Charles Hoskinson. The duo's connection with Cardano goes back to the early days when Lena worked for IOHK. In their own words, Cardano is our roots. We fell in love with the ethos, sustainability element, and community of Cardano from early on. Cardano offers us as creators the opportunity to let our creativity run free, to think outside the box, and interact with the community. After a handful of successful NFT drops, including Seasons 1, 2, and expansion packs, the English duo went on to create Clay Nation, a collection of 10,000 characters with 100 algorithmically assembled handcrafted clay traits. Each Clay Nation character is one of a kind and unique. This NFT drop took the Cardano NFT world by storm and is one of the most popular NFTs on the blockchain today. During the original sale, all 10,000 NFTs sold out within a few hours. The floor price to purchase a Claymate is currently around 2,700 Cardano, but they didn't stop there. Last Halloween, Clay Nation teamed up with the iconic Maryland-based pop-punk band Good Charlotte Together, they release a good NFT drop with some spooky characteristics. This drop was a big eye-opener to the music industry to what is possible in the terms of merging blockchain and rock stars. Since then, Claymation has also teamed up with Snoop Dogg and his son Champ. And Snoop even gave Charles Hoskinson a shout-out on the track Braun and Brawny from the Death Row Summer album.
An NFT project of this caliber wouldn't be complete without a metaverse, right? With the purchase of a Claymation NFT, you will also be granted access to the Claymation Festival. In a metaverse that's a virtual music festival, the Clayverse is the perfect place to explore, meet new friends, and vibe out as a 3D full-body version of your Claymate NFT. The land plots in the Clayverse are known as pitches, and there are 3 main sections of the map. The Sonic Village is the home of the Clay Nation and the main hub for activity in the Clayverse. This section of the map is where Clay Nation NFT holders are given priority to develop their pitches. That's where I hang out. The Underworld is the darker section of the map that was reserved for the Good Charlotte holders to rock out together. It's somewhat of a desolate space that will be brought to life by the lifestyles of the rich and famous. The final part of the map, Bait Nation, might have a little smog and a certain aroma in the air.
Why is everybody smiling?
This area was made in collaboration with Snoop Dogg and his son Champ, and the main hub is just a train ride away. Across the map, there are still some locked areas that will be gradually unlocked over time. The land pitches come in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. Pitches that border each other can be merged together, but they cannot be split up. In the future, once you are able to build and customize your pitch, the maximum height you can build upon is based off of size. Wait a minute, I thought size didn't matter. Complete with the Clayverse comes the Clay token, which they can use to vote on decisions in the ecosystem. The Clay token was just launched and owners of the pitches were eligible for an airdrop. Claymates holders will receive a biannual airdrop of 625 Clay, 1,250 a year. Clay is available on exchanges like MinSwap and MuesliSwap. The Clay token can be used to customize your land pitch, get accessories for the avatar, and purchase physical items. If you want to read up on all the extra details and everything involved in the Clay Nation, be sure to read up on the Clay paper.
Now, not financial advice, but this project has all the characteristics of a blue chip. They have killer partnerships, a promising roadmap, a dedicated team, an active Discord, and most of all, a loyal following. With the Clay token drop, and will soon be able to actively build and grow the Clayverse, this ecosystem is likely to see a massive spike in activity, especially if it runs smoothly and everything goes according to plan. It's safe to say Claymation has come a long way from its roots over 100 years ago.